is Wednesday, ladies and gentlemen, and you are locked and loaded onto the hottest show on the streets, the best form of Alabama football news, notes, and information you're going to find anywhere. This being, in my own words, the podcast with yours truly, Stephen M. Smith of Touchdown Alabama Magazine. Show is more so than me, though. I got my man John Ivory, call him JP, but the man John Ivory making sure we are good to go every single time. Coming to you from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, streaming this to you via YouTube, and all the time, we like to encourage you to be sure to drop a thumbs up, give a like on the show, and hit that subscribe button. What that tells us here at TDA that we got to continue pumping you the best in news, notes, and information on your favorite program, the Alabama Crimson Tide. It's because of you, the fans, that we're over 8,000. That's correct. Over 8,000 subscribers strong on YouTube. So definitely want to encourage you to continue to help us grow the network channel and the brand here. As always, jam-packed slate of topics to get to on a Wednesday. We'll start this off with an update, coming in here. And after the update, we'll get into why Mac Jones has Alabama in the best position in terms of quarterbacks versus not only the Southeastern Conference, but even against some of the elite powers in college football. We'll talk that as spring practice starts on March 13th, this Friday. From there, we'll jump into previewing the outside linebacker position for the Crimson Tide. With it losing Terrell Lewis and Anthony Jennings, how does Alabama stack up at that outside backer position? We'll go into there, and then we'll dive into the impact defensive player. Who will that be? Who has to be the impactful defensive player for the Crimson Tide starting the spring and going into the upcoming season? We'll talk all three of those topics and get into your phone calls, tweets, texts, thoughts, and concerns in the YouTube chat line. But first off, our update with the outbreak of the coronavirus and this new strand of the virus, VI-19, which has resulted in so many deaths, not just in China, but in Europe, and a couple of cases that have made its way to the U.S., and so many people, organizations already being proactive, taking precautions in terms of colleges, in terms of sporting venues. When you look at the NBA being proactive, Major League Baseball starting to trend in that direction. And the latest piece of news that came out between last night and earlier today, the NCAA has eliminated fans from taking part in March Madness, has eliminated fans from being a part of the NCAA tournament. And March Madness, the time of year to where this is the great pastime for all fan bases in the spring, but due to the outbreak of coronavirus, the NCAA has eliminated fans from participating in the March Madness. This is the women's and the men's tournament. Now, in terms of the Southeastern Conference, the SEC tournament still going on as is. Now, as they continue to get updates and provide those to the media, we will get those to you guys. So the SEC tournament is still going on as planned. And while so many people, organizations, colleges taking these precautions, you almost have to wonder, how does this affect football, or will it affect football? We know football is king. We know football is the main sport. Football is the venue that we all get behind. Does this affect the gridiron game? Now, here at the University of Alabama, Nick Saban and the program going with spring practice as planned. The first day of spring ball, March 13th, this Friday. Now, if something were to change, once again, we will get that information to you. But as of right now, Alabama continuing with spring practice, and while there's no cure or vaccine for coronavirus, you can prevent it from happening to you by making sure you wash your hands thoroughly after you eat, after you prepare meals. If you're coughing or sneezing, make sure you wash your hands thoroughly. You can also prevent coronavirus by, if you have to cough and or sneeze, be sure to cough or sneeze at the bend of the elbow. But right now, the big news, the NCAA eliminating fans from the March Madness. But as we dive into the first big topic, or the first topic of conversation for this evening, and it's how or why does Alabama quarterback Mac Jones have the Crimson Tide in the best possible position right now in terms of the quarterback rooms, not just in the Southeastern Conference, but for the elite powers that be in college football? Everybody will be excited for Friday, the first day of practice, to get their eyes on that quarterback room with Mac Jones, Bryce Young, Tonga Tagovailoa, and Paul Tyson. But the reason why Mac Jones has Alabama in the best spot is when you discuss the teams that the Crimson Tide will play in the Southeastern Conference this season, not a lot of them know where they are. Not a lot of them know what they have or where they stand in terms of quarterbacks. First and foremost, let's look at Georgia. Week 3 of the season, Alabama will play Georgia. And for the Georgia Bulldogs, it started off having Jacob Eason. Fans really didn't care that much for him. Jake Fromm comes in. He leads you to some wins. He leads you to an SEC championship being Georgia. He leads the Bulldogs to a national championship game. But despite not beating the Crimson Tide, did some good things. But then here comes a Justin Fields, a 5-star from Kennesaw, Georgia. Fans are excited about him. But even though it had their picks and chooses, all 3 of them are gone. And now you hope for Jamie Newman, the grad transfer from Wake Forest, to be the guy. He had 26 touchdowns to 11 picks this past year, but Georgia's hope is for Jamie Newman. They don't really know what they have at the quarterback position. When you look at LSU, kind of the same deal with Joe Burrow going to the NFL. You lost Joe Brady to the Carolina Panthers. And while Miles Brennan would be the backup quarterback, he didn't get much of a chance to play last year due to LSU campaigning Joe Burrow for the Heisman, and the guy that would be in the battle to try to take the job from Miles Brennan, one Peter Parrish, has been suspended indefinitely by LSU. So the Tigers, not quite sure what they have at the quarterback position. When you look at Texas A&M, the Aggies under Jimbo Fisher, that fan base is wondering, okay, is Kellen Mond really the guy, or should we look for somebody else? Or do we know that Kellen Mond is not the guy and we're just stuck with him? Not saying that Kellen Mond's a terrible player, he's a great athlete, but the Aggie fans have invested so much money into the program. We're talking about half of $1 billion, $498 million, and they want a return on their investment, and they have not gotten that return in Kellen Mond. So A&M not quite sure what it has at quarterback. When you look at Tennessee, Jarrett Guarantano was supposed to be a big deal. Not quite sure what happened to him. He has struggled. Brian Maurer, the backup, has shown some promise, but the Volunteers have gone out here and got a high 4-star quarterback in Harrison Bailey. Is he the guy? Does he pan out? We don't know. So Tennessee's in that same boat. You look at Arkansas. They had to bring in Felipe Franks in the transfer portal out of Florida. You have KJ Jefferson, who played last year. You also have Malik Hornsby, who you bring in this 2020 class. They don't quite know. And even down to Auburn. Auburn is hopeful that Bo Nix can take the next step going from his freshman to his sophomore year. You bring in Chad Morris to be the offensive coordinator. Will Gus Malzahn relinquish the keys so Chad Morris can call the plays? That remains to be seen. You have a lot of Auburn fans that feel like, why in the world did we let go of Joey Gatewood? So in terms of just teams in the Southeastern Conference, probably the only program that's kind of got an understanding of what they have at the quarterback position and are happy with what they have, you have to look at Ole Miss with John Rice Plumlee. It seems like Lane Kiffin is excited about him. It seems like everybody in Oxford is in pocket with Plumlee. Plumlee did a pretty good job last year being able to run the football. And he's gotten better, throwing the football. So it's crazy. And then in terms of just the national powers, Oregon, no more Justin Herbert. Who does Mario Cristobal and the Ducks go to? When you discuss Oklahoma, Jalen Hurts gone. I know Lincoln Riley has Spencer Rattler, but is he the next guy? Can he give you what Jalen Hurts gave you? Can he give you what a Baker Mayfield gave you? Can he give you what a Kyler Murray gave you? We don't know. You look at Michigan, Shea Patterson's gone. Where does Jim Harbaugh go to from here? Even down to Texas. I mean, I know they brought back Sam Ehlinger, but Texas, a lot like Texas A&M, a lot like Georgia, the fan base is looking at Tom Herman as if to say, how long, Tom? When's the championship coming? When's the Big 12 title coming? Can we finally beat Oklahoma? Can we beat Oklahoma State? Can we be not just good, can we be great in the Big 12? So those are just some teams that have issues, whereas at Alabama knows exactly what it has in Mac Jones. And while people are excited for Bryce Young, people are on edge, they're on pins and needles to see what Bryce Young has to offer. And I like Bryce Young. I'm excited to see what Bryce Young has to offer, but we're looking at being, we hope that Bryce Young is the man. We think that Bryce Young is the man. We believe that Bryce Young is the man. You hope that Bryce Young pans out, and he's going to be special here, and he's going to be great here, and he's going to be outstanding here. But we don't know what Bryce Young's resolve is going to be when he takes that first hit, right? We don't know what his resolve is going to be when he throws that first interception. We don't know what his resolve is going to be when he faces that first piece of adversity. We really don't know. Our eyes have actually beheld the resolve, the mental toughness, the fight that is Mac Jones. I mean, Mac Jones this past year played in some games where he took some vicious hits. He took some nasty hits. He picked himself off the ground, continued to throw the football, continued to show leadership, continued to put guys in the right spots to have success. He put up 40 plus points against Arkansas, had 48 in a start. He put up 40 plus points against Auburn, 45 in starting that game. He darn near had 40 against Michigan, put up 35. So we see what Mac Jones can do on the football field. And the two games that got the most ratings, when you talk about the Iron Bowl against Auburn and the Citrus Bowl against Michigan on ABC, Mac Jones, in both of those two games combined, we're talking about completing 42 of 64 passes, 65.6% completion clip for 662 yards, 7 touchdowns, just 2 picks. Great completion percentage, 662 passing yards, strong touchdown to interception ratio of 7-2 in those games against Auburn and Michigan, where highly watched, most ratings, all eyes on him, and he went out there and the young man flat out performed, played well, did well. So you see what you're getting here in a Mac Jones. Now, is he just overly, uberly athletic in terms of the running ability? No, but he can pull the ball down. He can pick up yards with his legs if need be. He's going to be able to balance out the offense, find guys in stride with pinpoint passing, pinpoint accuracy, pinpoint precision. And I'll say this, the players on this team know what they have in a Mac Jones. If players did not believe that Mac Jones was the guy, they would not speak if in terms of Mac Jones being the guy if they did not believe he was capable. If they did not believe he was capable, upon them being asked questions about Mac Jones, they would probably go with no comment, or they'll probably make a generalized answer. But because they speak of Mac Jones as a leader, as a warrior, as a competitor, Devontae Smith came out and said, I look at Mac the same way I look at Tua Tagovailoa when Tua was the starting quarterback just a season ago. And I understand People like to bring up the 2 pick sixes that Mac Jones had against Auburn. My rebuttal to that statement every single time: if Auburn just scores off the 2 Jones pick sixes, the final score is 45-14 in favor of Bama. Bama still wins by a large margin. Because the final score was 48-45 in favor of Auburn, Auburn put up 34 more points. Those 34 more points came from Alabama's defense not being able to stop Auburn's offense. So that's not completely on Mac Jones. But at the end of the day, Jones has this Alabama team in a much better situation at quarterback than a lot of others in college football. But that's going to take us to our first break here on In My Own Words, the podcast. Don't touch that dial, folks. When we return, we get into your phone calls, tweets, texts, thoughts, and concerns after this.
Every sports fan deserves the proper representation. Whitwell Sports introduces to you the Title Towel. Wave that Title Towel in the air like you just don't care. In support of Nick Saban and the Alabama Crimson Tide. Only $9.99 and it lasts a lifetime. Head on over to whitwellsports.com and get your Title Towel today. Touchdown Alabama Magazine is Alabama football's premier publication. A subscription to Touchdown Alabama Magazine is the perfect gift for any Alabama fan. For exclusive news and information, recruiting updates, a free annual print magazine, and more, go to touchdownalabama.com and click join. Only $5.95 per month or pay $49.95 for a full year subscription. That's a saving of almost $22. Make sure to subscribe before it's too late and get our new freshly printed end of the year magazine issue. Go to touchdownalabama.com today and roll Tide.
Thank you for watching Touchdown Alabama Magazine's YouTube channel. To continue to get the best in the Alabama football content, subscribe here and turn on your notifications to stay connected with the hottest shows covering your Crimson Tide.